Trey Haley, thank you so much for coming to SC State and pouring into these students who have big dreams and to, one day be in your shoes.
Yes.
So to the ones who are watching at home, tell us exactly who is Trey Haley?
Wow, who is Trey Haley? You know what? Just a guy who happened to have a dream and it worked out. I from Arlington, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I always knew I wanted to be in the entertainment business. And you know what? My first year in college, I worked at a cable company. I was an intern at first, and then it went from intern to a cable programmer. I was learning how to do editing, and while I was in school, majoring in radio, television, film. But while I was doing that, I was always go to film festivals, go to anything I could do to meet people, network, find out more information that I didn't know outside of what I was doing at school. And eventually I moved to Los Angeles, not really knowing anybody. Later on knowing, I did know some people there, but when I moved to Los Angeles, I just knew this is what I wanted to do. And it worked out. I ended up getting my first job was a job on a music video, met this director who named Darren Grant, who became like a mentor for me, and it just kind of went from one production to the next, while I at the same time met my business partner, my current business partner to today, Nikaya Brown Jones, and she's the CEO of the company. I'm the president of our company. We named it Tridescent Studios. She handles the business. I do the creative, and it just really worked out really well. And we started small, very small, just. The first film we did was, very, 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 very small budget, and got some friends together and just shot this movie called Room for Seven. And then from there, we just did another movie, and we did another movie, and we just kind of just networking. And at the same time, I was doing internships in Los Angeles. I did an internship with Revelations Entertainment, which is Morgan Freeman's company, which was a very instrumental in how we do a lot of things at our company, the structuring, learning from pre-production, production to post, watching how they, work a whole production company, just being in it was a powerful thing. But man, now I'm doing, so that, that's kind of the beginnings, humble beginnings. Now I have a family business. I direct and produce, I'm executive producer of that with my team. And we also we're in, season 5 of that, about to shoot season 6. We have another show, there's a spinoff called Family Business New Orleans that's doing really well. The season just started at the end of January. And we also do a show called The Black Hamptons. We also do a lot of films too, doing a movie with Deb Antony, who is the manager of, Nicki Minaj. And I can go down the line of who she is, Jamie Foxx, and Foxhole Productions are one of the executive producers on that show.
Yeah.
I'm lucky, just blessed to be the director on the movies, and our company, Tridescent Studios, man, it's just who knows what's next, brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that transition from Arlington to LA.
Yeah.
Talk about that transition. Because what made you move to LA, and did you feel like little fish little fish in a big tank? Mm-hmm. Or
I did. You know what? But I kind of knew.
Big fish in a big.
I know what you mean. Little fish in a big tank.
There we go.
No,
Thank
I
you.
totally agree.
I couldn't get it.
It was totally that. But you know what? When you know what you want to do, man, in life, like it doesn't really matter what it is. I don't care what profession you're in. You're gonna always be you got to go from you're the rookie. Whether you're in sports, you're the rookie. It doesn't matter where. If you would be an attorney, you got to start somewhere before you get the name, where people just call you because they just know what you do. But I think that's just part of the process. When I went there, like I said, I went there, the first thing I did is get a job. I knew I needed to make some money, so I just got a regular job. And while I was doing that job, then I was like, okay, I got a job, I got a place to stay, steps, Now, let me go out here. I see all these trailers and movies, and so I started just finding ways to engage into the film community and doing the same thing I did in Texas, going to film festivals, doing finding out whatever was going on. I would do whatever I could. In fact, I started taking some classes. I went to school, man. I already went to film school. I went to this school called LA City College just to go and meet film students.
Yeah.
Just because I figured if I meet some film students, they're gonna probably, that are from Los Angeles, they may know other things too. And you know, I would do anything just to create momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I remember you mentioned earlier to the students, you said that people from your hometown thought that you would be in the music industry.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, yeah. So, you know what? Growing up, I played the viola, the trombone. I played keyboards by ear. So I have a musical element to me. And so I think that's why anybody would think music was my thing. But finding out more about filmmaking and reading these scripts, and I have friends that were actors, and man, I was just going through this stuff and watching the making of how they do this stuff. It got me really intrigued, and then when I went, this is the power of internships and working at cable companies or production companies and things like that, is you get a chance to hone in to see if this is really what you love to do. So by working at that cable company, that helped me. One day when I was up till like 4 o'clock in the morning and I was supposed to be in class, and like 3-4 hours from now, when you're up till 4 o'clock at night and not tired and you're playing around, editing, creating your own stuff, you realize that this is what you like to do. And I think the music does work hand in hand with this, because you can't make a movie without a score or music. There's some pacing elements to it when it comes to editing and all that kind of stuff. I feel like there's a element of music and like that vibe that comes with making a movie. So
yeah. So you always knew that you wanted to work in TV or in film, because you attended the University of North Texas and you majored in radio, television, and film. Yeah. And then you ended up being a PA, production assistant. Yes. Tell me about that, and what did you think was really going to happen with you being a PA?
Excuse me. To be honest with you, I didn't know what was going to happen, me being a PA, but I did know this. Darren, who, like I said, was a mentor, he told me, Darren, he's doing all these music videos. He directed majority of the Destiny's Child's videos, and I mean, I was on so many sets with him, but then also being on commercial sets and all that. One of the things he told me is like, look, get on a set and start meeting the people, and you'll start learning the game, meeting the people that help you, and you'll start to find where your passion truly lies by being on these sets. So for me, a PA was a good way to make money, at the same time meet people, and that was like the beginning. It was just getting in the game, and that for me was just what I feel like is a good way for anybody who was interested in doing this. It's the ground level job, but you just never know where this thing is going to take you, but where the rooms it'll put you in, and the people, like I said, you'll meet ultimately. So,
one of my favorite stories that you told is when you were trying to get into the industry. You were delivering papers to different people. Talk about that.
Yeah. So as I was doing the PA job, then I started kind of getting like, it started getting mundane. I was like, man, I'm not feeling inspired. I need to do something else. I mean, I kind of figured this out. So I worked for a courier service. I found out about these courier jobs in Los Angeles where they deliver headshots and scripts to all of the studios and production companies in town. And they, it's kind of like a direct mail service kind of situation. And they hired, I went to this one company, said, hey, I'm interested in doing this job. It's minimum wage. They got these shirts, they got that certain look, like the courier type job look to it. But they said the section that they told me area of Los Angeles was gonna be Fox. You're gonna do the Fox lot. You're gonna do Culver City, Century City, and a portion of Hollywood, like the main area of some of the production. So anything within that came to them that needed to get deliveries, that's the area I was gonna work. Well, that's like half of the dang town right there. So I would leave from there, put on a button-down shirt, some jeans, and some loafers, and man, I was walking in those offices like I was just, a guy hanging out, among the town, handling out their stuff. And over time, I was like on some Fox lot every day.
Yeah.
Man, it was like, it's ain't nothing like being able to pull up, them gates open up. Hey, Trey, how you doing? And you know, you going in and you're walking all around the lot, handing out papers. You're seeing your biggest superstars.
Yeah.
Walking down, you see Denzel Washington, Tom. You're meeting all the guys. Well, I ended up being, TNT was one of the companies that I serviced scripts to. And a lady from there gave me the internship and told me about a internship like program that goes around throughout the studios, and that all the companies submit their internship like opportunities. And she was like, "You've got to be doing something else, because you always come in here dressed different. You come in there, you're sounding different than most of them." And it worked out, man. I filled out the forms, and ultimately, that's how I got the job for working at Revelations Entertainment, Morgan Freeman's company, through this program. So it was doing the alternative way of doing things, thinking different, that opened up that opportunity.
And then a band apart.
A Band Apart. So A Band Apart is Quentin Tarantino's company. Now that's the one when I was doing a lot of the PA jobs for music videos. So A Band Apart is a music video commercial company that Quentin Tarantino owns with one of his business partners. So that was kind of like when in my PA days, I was working with that and doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And so coming to SC State and talking to these students, what was your goal with pouring into them and just trying to? What was your goal?
Well, you know what, my goal is that a lot of times I see on our sets people come from different schools all around the country, particular HBCUs, and my company, a lot of people from our company are HBCU graduates. And so we have a passion for empowering our, HBCU graduates into these positions and making sure that they get the same knowledge and the same access that anybody else will get. So that's my passion for that. And coming here, speaking to the students and making sure they know that, there's support out there and that they're not far away from the next step to getting where they need to go. But sometimes they just need a little bit of encouragement, someone who they can see that's just like them. Hey, when I told them, raise your hands, anybody that didn't know, who knows someone in Los Angeles or in this entertainment business or whatever. And some of the students raised, a lot of people didn't. I said, well, guess what? So half of y'all are already there more than I am when I moved to Los Angeles. But it's to show you that people say you have to know people. You do. But you also got to just know you and trust in you to do this and know that it just takes one step at a time to make this thing happen. And that's my goal, is to just bring that energy and support to the students and give them any additional information that they need to make it in the game.
Yeah, and family business, you spoke on that earlier. Just tell us about your role in family business and how do you help that show come to life?
Family business is based on a novel by Carl Weber, a New York Times best-selling novel series. And so I direct 90% of the show. We have one other director that we have on our show that directs as well. So I'm the lead director. I'm also one of the executive producers of the show. So my job is to really oversee the creative aspect of it, the vision, the visual vision of the story. You take Carl's words, make them come to pass, from the visual point of view. Now, it's a collaborative business. TV is collaborative. My business partner, Indy Brown Jones, she's the showrunner along with Carl. But my job as the director and as the EP is to make sure that the story, the vision, working with the actors, making sure that the look of the show is what we talked about. So
do you ever have to dig deep into self to make a character or to help a character come to life or to play its role?
You know what, I say this, most people don't know this, I say directors, we're not acting coaches. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, we know how to guide people to get where they need to go, but ideally when you hire someone, they're supposed to come on and do their thing and know what they bring to the table. And we just fine tune it to the vision of the story and the show. I mean, there's times when there might be like a character that has a pretty strong arc and we have to give a lot of direction and making sure that they hit the marks to get where they need to go. But with actors, there's so many variety of personalities that you deal with, but directing isn't just working with actors. It's working with producers, it's working with hair, wardrobe, production design, Working with wardrobe. Everybody's coming at you. And you have to be able to be calm, cool, and collective and make sure that everybody is feeling like they're taken care of, along with actors as well. So it can be a fun job, but a very stressful job too. Yeah.
So my last question is, who are some of the people that you looked up to?
Yeah, looking up to, like I looked up to, obviously there's the Spike Lees, but I looked up to Eddie Murphy. When he did, Coming to America, Boomerang, Harlem Nights, those are movies that inspired me. I also have a wide variety of movies that I like. I like M. Night Shyamalan, I like Quentin Tarantino. I love Martin Scorsese. Steven Spielberg. I can go through those lists of people. Brian De Palma. I loved the Brian De Palma movies. So those are people, but then there's Quincy Jones and Babyface, what they did and how they make their companies and what Quincy Jones did and his impact on the entertainment industry and he was a visionary, those are people. I look up to a person like Nelson Mandela, who has a spirit to touch the world and to impact. I love impactful people like that they go beyond what they're doing just as a general, Quincy Jones, for instance, for music, but he's really more than music. Now, Nelson Mandela, that's a whole nother game. But I'm not trying to say that, but you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean. These are people that I look up to. But you know what? I look up to my dad, man. My father was very impactful in my life. My mom is impactful in my life. So I have some really close people in my life too that are very impactful.
And I remember you said that your dad was a lawyer.
My dad's he's a criminal defense attorney in Dallas-Fort Worth, very prominent. But to see him come from nothing to go to something, he had nobody in his life that was a lawyer in his life. He's come from very, very humble beginnings. And even when I told him I wanted to do filmmaking, he was like, but you don't know anybody in the movie business. None of the family members know anybody. You know what I said? Nobody knew anybody when you were going to be a lawyer either. Exactly. When you went off to school and did that. So you were my inspiration. He was like, oh, I guess go ahead and go to Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, different, yeah.
And now we're here.
Now we're here.
Well, thank you so much for visiting NC State. We hope to have you back sooner than we think.
Hey, and love to come back, man. It's been a joy, and any way I can do, I want to make sure I keep in touch with the students and make sure that if there's any questions, they have access to someone in the industry that's actually, doing this full time, that they know that I can be a portal between here and
USC.
Southern. I'm getting USC and all these things.
Okay.
But Southern California, no, South Carolina State University. I want to be a portal from South Carolina State University to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.